Night shifts are supposed to be quiet, but at this grocery store, the quiet hides something else. A man who only appears when the lights go out, and every time he's seen, he gets closer. This is the story of the man in the storage room. You're watching The Pale Watcher. If you enjoy chilling true-style horror stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell, so you don't miss what comes next. I work overnight shifts at a grocery store, and I swear it's not as boring as people think. It's quiet, sure, but not peaceful quiet. It's that wrong kind of quiet, where you can hear the buzz of the lights, your own footsteps echoing, and the building itself groaning like it's breathing. When you spend 8 hours in a giant fluorescent lit box with only one other person, you start noticing things you wouldn't during the day. The hum of the coolers has a rhythm. The air vents make little whistles. Aisle signs sway just slightly, like they're being nudged. You tell yourself it's nothing, but the longer you stand there, the more it feels like the store isn't empty. It's just holding still. The storage room's where the real unease kicks in. It's different from the rest of the store. Colder, darker, made of bare concrete. No background chatter of freezers or registers. Just silence that swallows every sound. Even with the light on, I hate going back there. The shadows stretch too far, and the shelves are so tall you can't see the far corners unless you walk all the way in. It feels like a place designed to hide things. A few weeks ago, I started noticing small stuff. Boxes in slightly different spots. A pallet jack left across the floor even though I hadn't used it. One time, I went in to grab stock and swore I heard breathing. Just slow, steady breathing from somewhere past the shelves. I called out, thinking Jerry had followed me in, but no one answered. When I came back with the boxes, the storage room light was off. I know I left it on. That night it was around 2 a.m., and I heard something from the back. Not breathing this time. Rustling. Something brushing across cardboard. I told myself it was rats. We've had them before, but it sounded heavier, like footsteps trying not to be footsteps. I grabbed a broom and went to check. The storage room light was off again. When I flicked it on, nothing looked out of place. Boxes stacked neatly, the air cold and stale. I walked in, tapped a few shelves with the broom handle, checked the floor for rat droppings. Nothing. I turned to leave and flipped the light back off. That's when I saw him. The room wasn't completely dark. There's a high window that lets in a bit of streetlight, just enough to turn everything into gray silhouettes. And in the far corner, there was a man, standing perfectly still, head tilted toward me like he'd been waiting. I didn't hear him move. I didn't feel him there until the light was off. I froze, broom handle trembling in my hand. Then instinct kicked in, and I slammed the light back on. Empty, just shelves and boxes. My heart was in my throat, but I had to know I wasn't crazy. I flicked the switch again. He was still there, closer this time. I didn't check a third time. I bolted, slammed the door, shoved the mop bucket in front of it like that would do anything. I stocked shelves for the rest of the shift, refusing to look toward the back. When Jerry came out of the office at 6 a.m., I almost told him. Almost. But what would I say? There's a guy in the storage room, but only when the lights are off. I kept quiet, but now I can't stop thinking about it, because I don't think he's trapped in there. I think he's waiting for me to go back. I wasn't planning on posting an update, but a lot's happened since that first night. Enough that I can't keep it to myself anymore. The man in the storage room hasn't gone away. If anything, he's gotten bolder. For a few nights, I flat out refused to go in there. I'd grab boxes from the doorway, never step inside. But even standing near the threshold made my skin crawl. I catch myself holding my breath, waiting for that faint noise. Shifting, scraping, almost like someone dragging a shoe across concrete. The worst part was the lights. I started noticing they'd be off even when I knew I left them on. Every shift, I'd flip them on at the start of the night, and somehow by the time I came back, the room would be dark again. One night, I came back with a cart of stock, and the light was already on. I hadn't touched it. I stood in the doorway for a solid minute, broom clutched in my hand, watching the fluorescent hum. Something about it felt wrong, like the room was pretending to be normal, waiting for me to step in. I didn't. I left the boxes outside and walked away. I finally told Jerry, not everything, just that I thought someone was sneaking into the storage room at night. He gave me this look, like he'd been waiting for me to bring it up. Then he said, "Don't turn the lights off in there, ever. If they go off, you come get me. Got it?" I asked him what the hell that meant, but he just shook his head and went back to the office. Wouldn't say another word about it. I thought he was just screwing with me until the next night. It was around 3 a.m. I was restocking milk when I heard the storage room door creak. I froze, carton in my hand, listening. The sound was soft at first, like something brushing against cardboard. Then it got louder, closer. I told myself Jerry was back there, even though I knew he wasn't. I called out his name. No answer. When I finally worked up the courage to check, the light was off again. I remembered what Jerry said, but I couldn't make myself go get him. I had to know. I reached for the switch and turned it off. For half a second, the room was gray and empty. Then I saw him, not in the corner this time, standing dead center, maybe 10 feet from me, arms limp at his sides, head tilted, watching. I panicked and slapped the switch back on. He was gone. But when I turned to leave, I heard it. A single shoe scuffing against the floor, not from inside the room, from the hallway. Ever since that night, it's not just the storage room anymore. I'll be stocking shelves, and the lights above me flicker for a split second. In that flash of dimness, I swear I see him, just for an instant, standing at the end of the aisle. I'll blink, and he's gone. Sometimes, when I'm crouched stocking the bottom shelf, I feel warm breath against my neck, like someone's leaning down behind me. I spin around and there's nothing. But the worst part? Jerry caught me in the hallway yesterday and said, dead serious, "If he gets closer than an arm's length, you quit. Don't come back. Promise me." I tried to laugh it off, but he didn't smile. He just looked exhausted, like he's been living with this thing for a long time. I'm starting to think the lights don't protect me. They just buy me time, and I think he's running out of patience. I didn't think I'd come back here, but after last night, I don't know where else to put this. Maybe writing it out will help me make sense of it. I don't think Jerry was exaggerating when he said to quit. I think he knew this was going to happen. Last night was supposed to be normal. Restock cereal, face the shelves, clock out, easy. But from the moment I stepped in, I felt watched. Every aisle I walked down, I caught myself glancing over my shoulder. The store was too quiet. Even the cooler sounded muffled. Around 2:30, the lights flickered. Just once, but long enough for me to see him, standing at the end of aisle 4. When the lights came back on, the aisle was empty, but the air still felt heavy, like he was lingering just out of sight. I told myself to go get Jerry. I even started walking toward the office. But when I passed the storage room door, it was open, just a crack, and the light inside was off. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe I wanted proof I wasn't losing my mind. Maybe I wanted to finally face it. I pushed the door open. The smell hit me first. Damp, like wet concrete and old sweat. The room was dark except for the faint glow from the high window. I stepped in, every muscle in my body screaming at me to leave. And I wasn't alone. He was in the far corner again, but this time he wasn't still. He was moving, not walking, jerking. His head was twitching side to side, his arms dangling like a puppet with tangled strings. Every few seconds, he'd snap still, head tilted, staring straight at me. I wanted to run, but my body wouldn't move. My hand brushed the switch, and I realized something awful. I was scared to turn the light on, because if I did, I wasn't sure he'd vanish this time. From behind me, I heard Jerry's voice, low and urgent. "Don't let him touch you." I whipped around. Jerry wasn't there, just the doorway. When I turned back, the figure was closer, halfway across the room now, head tilted. I bolted. I don't remember how I got to the office, but I slammed the door and locked it. Jerry was inside, sitting at the desk, looking pale. "You saw him," he said, not a question. I told him what happened, stammering through the whole thing. He rubbed his face and said, "I told you not to turn the lights off." I swore I hadn't, but then I realized I had. The second I pushed that door open, I killed the hallway light behind me. He sighed, stood up, and said, "Then it's too late." I quit that night, walked out before my shift ended, and never went back. But it's not over, because last night, at home, my bedroom light flickered just once, and in that single dim flash, I saw him, standing in the corner, closer than before. That's the end of the story, for now. But what do you think? Should I continue this series, or leave the man in the storage room where he is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like to see a sequel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Pale Watcher. Your support decides what comes next.